Assalamu alaikum to everyone. Have you ever wondered why some victories are delayed while others come swiftly? Why did the children of Israel wander in the wilderness for 40 years before they could enter the promised land? Today we uncover the fascinating journey of Prophet Yusha ibn Nun, Joshua, a leader chosen by Allah, who led his people to a long-awaited victory. This is a story of faith, perseverance, and divine intervention, one that holds valuable lessons for us even today. The leadership of Yusha ibn Nun, Joshua. Prophet Yusha ibn Nun, Joshua, was a servant of Musa, Moses, peace be upon him, and was always close to divine revelation. After Musa, A.S., passed away, the leadership of Bani Isra'il, the children of Israel, was handed over to Yusha. Under his command they finally achieved victory and returned to the Holy Land, an event that neither Musa, A.S., nor his brother Harun, Aaron, A.S., witnessed, as they both passed away while Bani Isra'il was still in the wilderness. The Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, gives us an important clue as to why this victory was delayed. He stated that none of those who worshipped the golden calf during Musa's time were allowed to enter Jerusalem. This delay was a divine punishment and a test. The generation that came out of Egypt had been raised in slavery under Pharaoh's rule, making them weak and hesitant. They lacked the strength, courage, and faith required for victory. Thus Allah decreed that they would wander in the wilderness for 40 years, allowing a new generation, one raised in freedom and taught the guidance of the Torah, to emerge. This new generation was disciplined, strong, and ready to obey Allah's commands. Through the story of Yusha ibn Nun, we see how Allah grants victory to those who are prepared for it, both physically and spiritually. The battle against the Jabbarin, the giants of Jerusalem. When the time finally came for Bani Israel to reclaim their land, Yusha ibn Nun led them into battle against the Jabbarin, giant-like people who inhabited Jerusalem. The battle was fierce, and as the sun began to set, Yusha knew that if night fell, the enemy would regroup and strengthen their defense. Realizing that he needed more time to secure victory, he pointed to the sun and prayed, "O Allah, stop the sun." And by Allah's command, the sun stood still until Yusha and his army had defeated their enemies. This miraculous event was a sign of Allah's divine support for his righteous servant. The journey of Yusha ibn Nun. Yusha ibn Nun was born in Egypt during the era of Pharaoh's oppression. As a child, he witnessed the suffering of his people. When Prophet Musa, A.S., received divine revelations and was chosen to lead Bani Israel, Yusha became his close companion. He accompanied Musa, A.S., to Mount Sinai, where he received divine guidance and was groomed to be a future leader. Musa, A.S., recognized Yusha's unwavering faith, courage, and wisdom. Before his passing, Musa, A.S., appointed Yusha as the leader who would continue his mission. Despite being born into hardship, Yusha rose to greatness, leading his people with faith and determination. The incident of Balaam bin Ba'ura. During the time of Musa, A.S., there was a man named Balaam bin Ba'ura, who was known for his piety and deep knowledge. Allah had even granted him the ability to make supplications that would be answered. However, when Musa, A.S., and Bani Israel approached the land of Bani Canaan, the local tribes feared being conquered. They turned to Balaam and asked him to curse Musa and his people. Balaam initially refused, recognizing Musa as a true prophet of Allah. However, due to persistent pressure and worldly temptations, he eventually gave in. He attempted to invoke a curse against Musa, A.S., but instead, his own tongue betrayed him, and he ended up cursing his own people. This was a clear sign of Allah's justice. Those who turn away from divine guidance for worldly gain ultimately destroy themselves. Balaam, realizing his mistake, lost all divine blessings. In a desperate act, he advised his people to send their women to tempt Bani Isra'il into sin, knowing that their moral corruption would lead to their downfall. Indeed, some among Bani Isra'il fell into this trap, and as a result, Allah sent a plague upon them, causing the death of thousands. This event serves as a warning about the dangers of straying from righteousness. Imagine a land where the golden sun meets the vast Atlantic Ocean, where ancient traditions blend seamlessly with Islamic teachings, and where faith has shaped the destiny of millions. This is Senegal, a West African nation with a deep-rooted Islamic heritage that has thrived for over 1,000 years. But how did Islam reach this land? How did it spread and shape the lives of its people? Join us in uncovering the fascinating history of Islam in Senegal, a story of faith, resilience, and transformation. Welcome to Roots of Deen, Islam's arrival in Senegal. Senegal, a beautiful coastal nation in West Africa, is home to nearly 19 million people. It shares its borders with the Gambia, Mauritania, Mali, Guinea, and Guinea-Bissau. What makes Senegal particularly unique is its overwhelming Muslim majority. More than 95% of the population follows Islam. The country is rich in ethnic diversity, including the Wolof, Fula, Sera, Mandinka, and Jola people, each of whom has contributed to its rich cultural and Islamic identity. Islam found its way to Senegal over 1,000 years ago, primarily through trade and interaction with Muslim merchants from North Africa. The earliest known conversions happened around the 9th century, when traders from the Islamic world traveled south across the Sahara, bringing with them not just goods, but also faith. However, the true turning point came in the 11th century, when the Kingdom of Takrur became the first major political entity in West Africa to fully embrace Islam. The role of the Takrur Kingdom. The Kingdom of Takrur, located in what is now northern Senegal, played a pivotal role in spreading Islam. Its ruler, War Jabi, converted to Islam in the 1030s, leading his people to follow suit. He implemented Islamic laws, reformed governance according to Islamic principles, and fostered relations with the broader Muslim world. The great North African geographer Muhammad al-Idrisi described Takrur as a prosperous land with a just ruler, emphasizing the kingdom's commitment to Islamic values. Through Takrur, Islam steadily spread across Senegal, laying the foundation for future Islamic movements in the region. French colonialism and the spread of Islam. Although Islam had a strong presence in Senegal for centuries, its growth was gradual. By the time the French colonized Senegal in the 19th century, only about 50% of the population identified as Muslim. Ironically, it was the French conquest itself that led to a rapid expansion of Islam. During colonial rule, military conflicts, displacement, and social unrest disrupted traditional African spiritual beliefs. As people sought stability, many turned to Islam, which provided a sense of unity, education, and moral guidance. Islamic schools, madrasas, flourished, offering an alternative to French colonial education and becoming powerful institutions for religious and cultural preservation. The role of Sufism in Senegal. One of the most fascinating aspects of Islam in Senegal is the dominance of Sufism, a spiritual and mystical form of Islam. While much of the Muslim world adheres to Sunni or Shia Islam, Senegalese Muslims primarily follow Sufi brotherhoods. These brotherhoods emphasize spiritual devotion, remembrance of Allah, dhikr, and strong communal bonds. There are 4 major Sufi brotherhoods in Senegal. Number the Qadiriya Brotherhood, established in the 12th century. Number the Tijaniya Brotherhood, originating in 780. Morocco in the 18th century, now the largest in Senegal. Number the Muridiya Brotherhood, founded in Senegal in 1885. Number 4, the Layaniya Brotherhood, a smaller but influential group. Despite being called brotherhoods, these groups are inclusive of women who play significant roles as scholars, spiritual guides, and community leaders. The Tijaniya Brotherhood, the largest Sufi order. The Tijaniya Brotherhood holds allegiance from nearly 50% of Senegal's Muslim population. Founded by Ahmed al-Tijani in Morocco, it spread rapidly across West Africa, reaching Senegal through Al-Hajj Malik Sy in the 19th century. Tijani followers engage in structured spiritual practices, including daily recitation of special prayers, awrad, chanting of litanies, wasifa, as a group, regular gatherings for collective remembrance of Allah, annual celebrations such as Mawlid, the Prophet's birthday. One of the greatest scholars of the Tijaniya order was Sheikh Ibrahim Niasse, who emphasized education for both men and women. His daughter, Fatima Zahra Niasse, became a leading Islamic scholar, proving that women had a crucial role in Senegalese Islamic history.